Each week, usually on Friday night, I plan to share with you a few thoughts. They might not always be very clever, you might not always think them very wise, but they will try to bring you a perspective. I'll look at Romania from this American newspaperman, banker, former expat in several years in Mexico and in England. As we begin this program on the Money Channel, I'm reminded of a quote I read some years ago by a famous British editor. He was asked what it takes to be a journalist. He answered, in the perfect sardonic wit of a good newsman, that it takes two things to be a journalist: a pencil and a job on a newspaper. Well, we don't use these anymore. I brought this one from home, actually. But in many ways, he was right. At our best, journalists are little more than clear-eyed observers whose job it is to watch, listen, and then scribble some words to tell you what happened. We're guided by simple principles: report and inform without fear of or favor to anyone. Some of us believe we should comfort the afflicted and afflict the comfortable. To me, that is not the goal, but it is often the result of good journalism. Mostly, our job is to give you the information you need to change the world, should you believe the world needs changing. How it changes is not up to us, but to you. But as newspapers around the world struggle to stay in business, it becomes increasingly clear that that British editor, the one with his pencil and his job, left out a third essential ingredient in being a journalist. That is the reader, or in our case, the viewer. We need you to watch, and for that to happen, we must give you news that you want, information you need. It is our job to decide some of that. That is what we're paid for, to sift through hundreds of stories we see and hear each day, and from those bring you what we believe, in our own limited wisdom, are the most important. But we're not perfect, and we are not everywhere. That is why we at The Frank Show welcome your news, your suggestions, your comments about what's important in your lives. And we ask that you send us those. Our email address is thefrankshow@tmctv.ro. We will endeavor to read them all. Of course, not every email will become a story. We don't expect you to be a journalist, but at least we can give you a pencil. And before we go tonight, I have just one quick comment. In business, we often wait until the final day was before somebody leaves to extend our thanks and give them our praise, and I think that's a shame. I think people should know while they're doing their jobs that they are doing a good job. So tonight, I would just like to introduce and thank somebody, Kalina Piratic, who's our producer. You won't see her name on the screen. You won't see her on the set. She's behind me, working. And I just want to say thank you to her for her incomparable, indomitable dedication to the program and enormous talent. Thank you. And that is the show for tonight. Join us tomorrow at the same time when we'll have the second part of our interview with economist John Taylor. 11 years ago, he called for the IMF to be abolished. See what his views are now. And later this week, we'll talk with award-winning director Cristian Mungiu about the business of filmmaking, and Commissioner Orban from the European Commission about recent events at the G20 and in the EU. Until then, thank you for watching, keep well, and good night.